procrastination. I'm going to get right into the podcast today. Guys, this is definitely an old story, but the story came across my feed this morning, and it made me do a little bit of investigating into it, and also had me ask a question. I want to ask you guys today. Yes, you. I want to ask you. This is your time to give me any feedback on how you feel about this situation that I'm about to talk to you about. So, in November of 2021, Bishop Dwight Reed marries 18-year-old Jordan Goodlett. Now, it's said that the bishop was best friends with the Goodletts, and he mentored their daughter for some time. He knew her since she was 14 years old. And in the article that I read, he mentioned that he had been watching her since she was 14. So from 14 to 18, he's communicating with this family, and this family is in communications with him, which is crazy because as I looked on his Facebook page, I seen this post that he had posted when the controversy was going on. This is from May 16th, 2022, because this hit the news in 2022. That's when the news came out, about April of 2022. And this Facebook post reads, "True friends will help you to fulfill your purpose." Now, he was friends with the Goodletts. So when you think about Facebook posts, I told you guys in another video before, people tend to put indirect messages on Facebook, and it causes you to be some sort of a detective to find out what the person is talking about. Now, I also have a small clip of his response to people about his marriage to Jordan. There's a full video. I'll put a link to that video in the description of my YouTube video. So for you guys on the podcast, if you want to watch that full response to people about his wife, I'll put that in the description. And what he was saying was that it's God's plan, and that the devil is working against him, trying to disrupt his happiness and what, God has put together. No man can take us under. And I'm showing you too a Facebook post from Jordan herself. Starts off with, "First of all, I want to thank everyone who attended my wedding on Monday. I'm grateful that each one of you took the time out of your day to attend a very important moment of my life. And I also want to thank those that have congratulated me on my marriage. It means a lot to me." Now, I'm showing you the entire post here. So if you want to read it, you can pause the video. I'm not going to have this up for too long. So pause the video if you want to read the whole thing. You can take the time to figure out what that means. What's truly going on. As a little bit more research goes along, I see that they just welcomed a baby, a son. So as of today, Jordan will be, I think it's mixed reports of if she was 19, 18. So if she was 19 2 years ago, she would be 21 now. And if she was 18, she would be 20 now. But he went on to say some other things in his defense, that they were saying that it had something to do with money. And he defended the narrative about money, talked about how money was being spent, how money was coming in. And, none of that when he was talking about it struck any, nerves or anything like that. I was just looking at this unbiasedly, if you believe it or not. Now you'll say, why are you looking at this unbiasedly? Apparently, this 63-year-old man, who's 65 now, who had been watching this girl since she was 14, waited on this girl, waited years, 4 years, until he decided to marry her on her 18th birthday. So what is crazy is that you start to think, man, so were they doing something beforehand, and who gave him the permission to deal with her? Now in Iowa, if given permission, a man can actually marry a woman at 16 years old. Their age limit is 16. So at 16, a female can, with her parents' consent, can marry anyone she wants to marry, which is crazy there in Iowa. And I looked that up as well. So, but if you look at it as a whole, he could have married her at 16, but you got to wait till she's 18 so she can legally sign the paperwork, because at 18 years old, people can make their own decisions with doctors as well. So nobody can really say anything because she's 18. But the problem is, was she 17 when they was dealing with each other, and was she a minor beforehand? Now, he, in his own words, said he weighed on her when she was 14 and waited till she turned 18. So he had his eye on her. Now, what's crazy is when you think about it, there's a church in Texas that church is actually suing. I'm not doing no defamation here, so I can't be sued, because they said that the church has had this reputation of basically grooming young members and dealing with them. Now, I don't know if that's true. That's all allegedly. It's all alleged, but they accused the pastor of grooming young women. Also, it was alleged that he'd been married and divorced 3 other times, with Jordan being his 4th wife. So, apparently, me being a person who talks about relationships, I can only speculate that this man, is not really good when it comes to relationships. Now, this relationship is still new. Jordan is still young. You understand? She's a young woman. She's 21, 22 years old. Let me give you guys a little bit of psychological understanding. The brain develops at 25 years old. A lot of women will contest that at their early 20s, they didn't really know themselves. And if you guys, right now in the comments, if you made it this far in the video, right now in the comments, let me know what you was doing at 20 years old. Let me know what you was doing when you was 21. And by the time you was 31, did you regret it? And you wish you had did something different? Because by 31, my man, Pastor Reed there, is going to be breaching 80. He's going to be kicking 80 right in the ass. Excuse me as I curse talking about a pastor in the same words. He's going to be kicking 80 in the ass. So, somewhere down the line, Jordan is going to start to rethink about what's happened here. Now, by then, the son is going to be older. And I don't know. Who knows? That's all up for future conversation. We still talking 10, 15 years, but that's not what the video was about. What this video, and I don't want to go too far because this is just something that I saw it before, and I'm about to play for you his response to people, and where he's talking about people talking about his wife.
And I wish some of y'all would mess with my wife, Jordan. Talking about what you gonna do if you see her. Well, you will see me on the news. Let me just tell you that right now.
Now there, he's talking about if people have something to say about his wife, what they're going to do to his wife when they see her, blah, blah, blah. I don't know where these threats was coming from. I read on Facebook that some ex-members had been saying some things and they wanted to hide their identity so they don't face retaliation. But behind those words, you know that this pastor, lives a double understanding. I'll say that. Not a double life, but he has a double understanding. I don't know the man at all. Again, I'm not desecrating the man at all. You understand? I'm not bashing his name at all. I know nothing about neither one of them. This story just bugs me out because I'm going to give a little bit of commentary to you guys before I end this. Imagine this. I'm going to give you guys something to think about. Then I want you to leave your comments in the comment section. Imagine you have a friend that's 40 years old. No, let's do it like this. Imagine you have a friend, right, that's 25 years old, met your daughter when she was 3, was friends with you all throughout your daughter's life. When your daughter turned 13, he started taking your daughter out on dates, little ice cream dates, and taking her to the mall when she needed to go, and so on and so forth. When your daughter turns 15, she's in high school, he gives her rides to school. If you guys have car trouble, you guys break down, he's taking her to school. So they have this whole time together, riding together to school. And this man, as this girl starts to become a young lady, is starting to become attracted to this girl. And then all of a sudden, he gains these strong emotional attachment to her. But he knows he can't do anything to her because she's only 15. So, in his mind, he says, you know what? Man, I can't wait till she turns 18 so that we can get married and blah, blah, blah. That way, nobody says anything. So he weighs on her for 3 more years. 3 more years. Now the obsession is so deep and so strong that this man waits 3 years. 3 years. And on her 18th birthday, takes her to the courthouse and they get married. On her 18th birthday. Sign the papers. She can legally sign the papers. Nobody can say anything. He's been friends with the family for so long. It makes it seem okay. He's a pastor. His church is supposed to be one of the most predominantly black historical churches in Iowa. So what's wrong with that? His father, his mom is respected in the community, but some people just don't like it. But hey, what's wrong with it? What's wrong with that is that you preyed on a kid. Period. You preyed on her. Regardless of what you say or what you want to say, when you prey on children, that makes you a pedophile. Now, I'm not calling him a pedophile. I'm just saying that's the facts. Pedophiles prey on children. We know that. That's a fact. Now, am I calling him a pedophile? No, I'm just saying from historical understandings, pedophiles prey on children. But you just so happens to be a cognitive pedophile. And what that means is that you understood the law, so you couldn't say or do anything with this young girl until she hit 18. Which just so happens to make you a smart pedophile, if that's the case. If you guys agree, put that in the comments right now, if you agree. But that's my spin on it. I want to know your spin on it. That's the reason why I made this podcast. Guys, on the podcast, I always leave a question about what you think about this episode. Leave your thoughts. On the YouTube channel, you get to the YouTube channel, leave your thoughts in the comments. I'm going to share this on TikTok. You guys, leave your thoughts in the comments. And on Facebook, you guys, leave your thoughts in the comments. And if this just so happens to make its way around to those church members that go to that church, I'm not disrespecting your past. I'm just asking a question. And with that said, you guys have a great rest of your Sunday, a great rest of your weekend, and I will speak to you in the next one. Peace out.